Whoa, all right. That's a little bit better in here. So, welcome back to the DuckHill Workshop. My name is Ben. Today we're talking about LEDs, specifically American Green Light retrofit kits. That's what this is. That's what the two lights over your head are. They're awesome. Obviously, I've already gotten them installed. What was in this room before were two tube T8 fluorescent fixtures. We've replaced those lights with two 4-foot LED strips, single LED strips on a 0 to 10 volt dimmer. And we've added this light over my head on a 100 kilo ohm potentiometer. And this is really, at the moment, just set up like a wall lamp, like it just plugs in with a switch and a potentiometer for dimmer. Yes, I have to make that little motion. This upgrade's awesome. And I have to say a big thank you to Jim Uno at American Green Lights, because he saw my cry for help on Instagram when the fluorescent lights in here were failing and said, hey, I think we have a solution for you, and would you like to make a video about it? I said, yes, absolutely. So this is the first time a company has ever sent us product to install, try out, review, make a video about. So that is full disclosure. They sent me these lights in exchange for the video. But that being said, you may know I have American Green Lights in my shop. I paid for those. So they have not paid me to say nice things about their lights. I was already using the product and they upgraded my office space as well. So thank you, Jim. That being said, guys, these lighting kits were really easy to make. I did them, there's two ways. These are the 0 to 10 volt dimming kits. I did them with a Lutron 0 to 10 volt dimmer. That's the expensive way. I think that switch cost me about $75. I did buy that. And then I also put together a second switch for this light that's just a regular wall switch and the 0 to 10, or not 0 to 10, the 100 kilo ohm, I'll just link it below, potentiometer as a dimmer. So the interesting difference is the dimmer for the lights overhead will dim all the way out to black. Jim's told me that that doesn't actually shut off the dimmer, but it does in this case. There's no more light being emitted. On this light overhead, the dimmer does not dim to black. It just goes to low, very low output. Jim has told me that that is a function of the potentiometer versus the dimmer. I don't know if there are other potentiometers that would have better range or not, but that's a $10 option, whereas that was a $75 option. So really quick, let's get into the process. So here's 4 hours of work smashed down into 41 seconds. I already had the test circuit with the wall switch and potentiometer built on the workbench and the low voltage wire for the dimmer switch pulled in the wall. I did have to rewire the wall switch twice to get everything correct, and I had to remake my low voltage lines, the extensions from the driver to the fixtures, because I'm bad at labeling unmarked cables. So be sure to color code your wire if it isn't already. One thing I forgot to mention in the original video was that the overhead lights have magnetic clips, so they attach right to the ceiling grid with no screws, which, dare I say it, is awesome. You know, showing off and wrapping up. Now it's just clean up and done. Okay guys, let's go ahead and take a closer look at this particular circuit. This is my DIY dimmer option. So this is just a regular wall switch, and this is 100 kilo ohm potentiometer that I found on Amazon. Here's the same component. Take it apart. That comes off. So this is the actual potentiometer. There's 3 wires here. If you wanted to get brighter in a counterclockwise motion, you use these 2 wires. Here's the picture that Jim sent me when he was describing this to me. Presumably, if you wanted to dim the other way, you use the other 2 wires. So that's that option. Now, just moments ago, this light here was on the ceiling above us. Here you can get a kind of a good look at this. It's an aluminum extrusion with a little channel. That channels where the clip attaches to this fixture, and the diffuser. So it's a hard piece of fixture. And this is, you know, this is relatively lightweight. So imagine, like, this is, I will say this is well made, but you're not going to be using it like a lightsaber to like chop stuff in half. Like, this is still a thin aluminum extrusion. There's some flex to it. So you do want to be careful when you're putting this in and out of the clips. The really nice thing about these is all of their fixtures come with these pigtails. So it's really easy to attach. So this end goes into the driver, and then each fixture has a tail as well. And if you need to run the driver further away from the fixture itself, just splice in some 18 gauge wire, which is, this is all this is 18 gauge 2-strand that I spliced in there. So that's what's running up to the above. But there's 2 pigtails here. The thing to remember is you need to match your driver, your LED wattage to your driver. So this is a 24 watt driver, and then this is a 24 watt fixture. So I can only run one of these off of this driver. They also make 12 watt fixtures with just fewer LEDs inside of them. So there I could run 2, which makes sense to have 2 leads. They also make a 36 watt driver, so you could run 3 of the 12 volt or 12 watt fixtures. All I've got here is a salvaged power plug, you know, standard hot, neutral, and ground to a regular wall plate. The other nice thing about these is they come with a hot neutral or hot ground and neutral pigtail, and they have a quick disconnect as well. So if I needed to make some changes, my power disconnect is really easy. Also, the difference between the potentiometer and the expensive Lutron dimmer is that the potentiometer will not dim out to 0. And what you watch with the Lutron dimmer is it will dim to about the same point, but then whether it sends a signal to the driver or the driver gets the signal and says, hey, I'm at my lowest setting, they probably want it to be black, and then shuts off power. So that's what's not happening here in the potentiometer. So I'm going to hit my switch, and that's our lowest brightness. Now I'm going to run the dimmer, or the potentiometer. And there the potentiometer is at 50%, and I don't really notice, maybe you do in the video, I don't notice a difference between 50% and 100%. Maybe just the slightest. But I really can't, looking right at the lights, I really can't tell the difference between 50 and 100. All right, before we take these other LEDs down, I'm going to show you how quick this is to put back up. Even from its current location with the switch, I'm just going to unplug this. I'm going to try and get this back in where it was. There we go. There we go. Quick clip in. I'm going to come over here. Here's my 2 ends. Just a stretch. Oh, I might not. And then I'm going to tuck it back up here under its wire. We're back in business. Up there. So now I'm going to shut off these overheads. I'm going to pull down that fixture, and we'll take a look at the differences between these two. Okay. I'm going to turn that one back on. Bam. So we have some front light. So remember, these have a magnetic clip. This is a separate purchase. I do believe they come with the standard clip, but you have to order the magnetic clip separate. It's like an extra $2. And let's see if I can, yep, super easy, take it down. Same thing, these have the quick plug. Set that here on the bench. And then just again to show you what I'm talking about, like these are quick, take it down, put it back. So easy. Because this is only a 24 watt driver and this is a 24 watt fixture, I'm going to unplug this one and then plug that one in so we can take a look at it. Boom. Turn it down a little bit. So you see the main difference here? It's still the same extruded channel in the back. And it has little mounting tabs on the end. So if you wanted to screw it into something, you could. And then it has a curved diffuser. So I think they said it's like a 260-degree angle. So this is going to get you more of the diffused light like a fluorescent tube, as opposed to the more directional light of the standard LEDs. So I'm going to say it's not where a fluorescent tube is really an omnidirectional light source, and LEDs are a very point light source. So you have to have a diffuser in place. It does a really good job of mimicking that. It's not exact. I've noticed that, like, I have shelves on that back wall, and the things on the very top shelf are not getting the same amount of light as they were previously. However, I will say that just the overall quality of the light in the room is better. So maybe if I move these closer, or if I had one more in here, it might be more light, but that's just something to keep in mind. If you had higher ceilings, these ceilings are a little short. If you had higher ceilings, this wouldn't be a big deal. All right, so those are the difference of the two strips that we received, two types of strips that we received. They do make several other styles, just a standard U channel, a wing channel. They make clear ones with a clear lens for damp environments. They're more, I think they label them as waterproof. And if you were retrofitting, so they manufacture these as a retrofit kit. If you were truly retrofitting old fluorescent troughers into LEDs, you pull out that center strip, you carefully remove the fluorescent ballast, replace the ballast with the new driver, connect the driver up to your power, and then just plug in or you put that case back in place, pop these in, and you can either if you get the magnetic ones, they're just going to magnet into that metal enclosure. Super easy. If you want to get ones where you've got to screw your clips in, you could do that. Get self-tapping sheet metal screws and pop those in, but I would definitely go with the magnets. In fact, I think that's what we're going to do in my dad's workshop. If you've been following along, the very delayed, drawn-out process of trying to renovate my dad's workshop. There's, I think, 4 or 6 fixtures in that space, and we'll just get the magnetic clips and pop those in. If you have any questions, please link those or send those to me in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions about this product. And again, I will continue to use this product. If Jim wants to send me more, that's great. But I will continue, as I have different spaces, I will continue to purchase these. I haven't had any issues. I've been running them in my own workshop for about 2 years, and we'll see, like, they only continue to get better. The quick connect between the pigtails with the quick disconnect, that's an improvement since when I purchased mine. Look forward to seeing more of these lights in the future. Until next time.